Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me today, and thank you for Ollie and the team for the opportunity to let me come and speak with you this morning. For those who don't know me already, my name is James Stockdale, and over the next 15 to 20 minutes, I want to share two things with you. A bit about who I am and what I do, and then, more importantly, something I've been building I think is genuinely going to change the way small businesses and founders access tech support forever. I'm going to keep this conversational, so if anything resonates or you have questions, hold them and we'll make space at the end to go through them. So I've spent over 10 years in the technology space, not in a corporate bubble, but building things from the ground up, much like many of you are doing right now. I started my career many years ago, it feels now, at big tech corporates, working in London. I spent some time working at Apple in that time. And I learned a great deal about technology and about technology businesses and how they think, how they operate, and how they communicate. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, and I knew I wanted to build something of my own one day. So I did. I founded FruitGeek, which later became part of Inception Support, which I was most recently involved with. Some of you might know me for a bit more. It was an Apple-focused managed service provider. I built FruitGeek from the ground up. I scaled it, and I eventually sold it as part of Inception Support. That journey taught me more than any course or any job ever could have. I learned what works, what doesn't, where the gaps are, and most importantly, what small businesses and founders actually need to get from their technology and their IT support. Since that exit in 2025, I started Appleseed & Co., my coaching and mentoring practice, where I work with founders and aspiring entrepreneurs to develop their ideas into strong startup propositions they can grow and scale. If any of you are at a very early stage, that's a conversation worth having separately. But today, I want to talk about the next chapter, the thing that's really pulled everything together. I want you to think about the last time you had a tech problem. Maybe your laptop stopped working the night before a big meeting, maybe your broadband went down, or maybe you couldn't figure out why your cloud backup wasn't running. Whatever it was, how long did it take you to sort it out? How much time did you lose? How frustrated were you? Now, if you're a solo operator or running a small team, you've got two options today. You either figure it out yourself, or you pay for a managed IT contract that's designed for businesses 3 times the size and costs accordingly. There's not really any middle ground. And that's the gap that Gen Z fills. We're building what I describe as the Uber for IT support. You have an issue, hardware, software, networking, cloud, whatever it is, our AI agent triages it for you, understands what you need, and connects you directly with the right specialist for live one-to-one support if you need it. There's no contracts, there's no retainers, and there's no waiting around. So why now? The shift to on-demand services has already happened in transport, in food delivery, in finance. IT support is the last professional service that hasn't made that leap. Gen Z is a pioneer in this space, and the timing couldn't be better. This isn't a side project. I've co-founded this with 2 others, and we're building this properly. We have a good 6 to 9 months now in. We're doing beta testing at the moment, and we're soon about to launch.
When are you ready to go, James?
We will be ready to go in June. The final date is yet to come, but we'll come on to that.
Okay.
So who's Gen Z for? It's for you. It's for the solo operator who doesn't have an IT department. It's for the startup or small team of 1 to 9 people who want access to quality specialist tech support without being locked into a contract they don't need. It's for founders who wear every hat and can't afford to lose half a day to tech problems they can't solve themselves. In terms of what's covered, we're not talking about one narrow slice of tech. We're talking everything and anything you can think of. hardware, software, networking, cloud, cybersecurity, the full range of issues that really that real businesses face every day. As I said, we're launching in 2026, and that's only next month. I want to make sure we have the right people on the platform from day one, which brings me to the most important part of today. Because you're here today, because you're exactly the kind of founders and small business owners Gen Z is built for, I want to extend a founding offer to everyone on the call. Sign up to the Gen Z waitlist, and you'll get the first 3 months completely free on us. That's June, July, and August. The entire launch window on us. No catch, no credit card required to join the waitlist. Just go to genz.it, sign up, and you'll be first in when we go live. This offer is only available to waitlist signups. So if this sounds like something you need, or someone you know, or another founder needs, this is the time. I will drop a link in the chat as well as my LinkedIn, so you can connect with me. And if anyone would like to know more, have a one-to-one conversation with me, then LinkedIn's a good way to contact me and reach out, and then we can connect further there if we need to. And as far as the presentation goes, that's really it. So now is your opportunity to ask me anything you like, and I can already see Andre's hand up. So why don't you kick things off, Andre?
James, really quickly. So if I'm currently with an IT company, and they look after all of my IT, and I wanted to move to you, how easy is that transition?
Well, this service can run in a completely standalone operation. It might be something where you need something answered very quickly, and you can use our service just on a pay-as-you-go basis. So it doesn't have to replace the current service, although we intend in time that will probably be a natural occurrence. If people are on contracts, one of the biggest gripes I always used to get was that, why have I got to pay a retainer and a contract when I probably only have an issue maybe once every couple of months?
That's my issue.
And that drains down. Now, there is a good reason and a good argument for that, and that is because there are a number of things that will probably be happening in the background that need to be paid for on a monthly basis, subscriptions and things like that. And the admin around that is often managed by your IT service provider. And so what you're doing is you're paying for that. However, all of these things can also be run independently by a business owner with a little bit of, it's just like logging into anything else. So our service helps those business owners have their Microsoft 365, have their Google Workspace, have their online cloud backup, but they own the rights and the logins to those systems. And then our technicians will help them make sure that they're set up right and they're getting out of them what they need. And what that means is you're not then tied to us as your tech support. You have all of the keys to the kingdom for all your systems, and you can take them wherever you like. And so that way, you're only going to pay us and our technicians for the time they use when they help you. You're not paying any service retainers for things that are being done in the background that you possibly don't need. And so the other side of that is that if you do already have an IT company looking after you and you're thinking, I don't know if I'm getting good value for money, there's absolutely no risk to running ours alongside, because we're not going to take or own any of your passwords or try and take over anything. You just use the service as you need it. And over time, if you think, actually, I could get better value out of going down this path, then that's something we can help you with. Does that answer the question?
Well, yeah, it does. But that's two companies then I've got to deal with.
There is that, yeah. I mean, there is that. However, I mean, it all depends what is the best fit for you, and this is it. So some business owners, especially small operations, they would rather know that they've got the knowledge and the tech support people there to help them through what they need to do, rather than pay over the odds for things that they can just go online and buy, especially if it's like a single Microsoft license. The other side of it is IT companies, like MSPs, managed service providers, they're not really incentivized to look after small companies, because if you're only like a one, two, three license outfit, the margins you make on either the Google Workspace or the Microsoft 365 license is pennies in the pound. And so you're expected to do all the admin of that and look after it, and you're liable as a service provider if something goes wrong with that. And so actually, they're not really incentivized to want to do it either. So small MSPs often gripe about their smaller customers, and I don't think that's a very good customer experience. So the opportunity we're going to give those smaller businesses is, we have the knowledge and skills and expertise to make sure everything is done correctly. You've got good cybersecurity, all your passwords are managed properly, but we're going to show and manage it to the point that you still own the keys to all of those accounts, and you're not then beholden to someone who's going to keep you under a contract. That's the basic premise of it. It's an completely new idea to the space, and we're a new business as well. So when we launch in June, it's going to be a public beta, and the reason we're giving the opportunity to use it for 3 months if you sign in that period absolutely on us is because we want to use those early adopters for some feedback, some genuine sort of like real feedback on the platform, how it works, what the pitfalls might be, and to find out if this platform is something that's going to scale into a business. We are currently investigating some pre-seed funding and have had several conversations around that. And the feedback we're getting from that is we really want to see some real world data, some people using the platform to be able to really establish if this has got the legs. So we're going to be doing that over the coming 3 months, and then that's going to go into our raise plan. Ollie.
Thanks, James. And after the 3 months free trial, what's it going to cost?
But there's absolutely no obligation. There's 2 models. Initially, we are going to be launching with essentially what we like the pay as you go. So you buy your minutes. So you buy either 15, 45, or 60 minutes. They stay on your account, and then as you use those minutes talking to technicians, they run down. You get access to a dashboard with all that information, and in your dashboard as well. Every time you make a call, that call's registered. You can go back and review notes on it. And there's a number of other features we're going to be building into it. We're hoping that we can also allow you to go back to the call and re-listen to it. So if you go through, now what could happen is you have a conversation and someone says, well, if you go to this button and do this and do this and do that, and you got it, and you go, oh, actually, that's really easy. That's what I need to know. But then when you need to do it next week, you've forgotten. So we want to make it so that you can go back and revisit that conversation, because then you can always manage what you need to do without having to keep going back and get support.
And how many engineers have you got at the moment, James?
We've got 3 engineers with us at the moment. Now, the model is going to work. Just let me go back very quickly. So we are going to be launching a subscription model, which essentially it brings down the cost slightly. And it just means that you can either run a 30-day, a quarterly, or an annual plan. Now, unlike a contract and a commitment, this is a subscription. So it just rolls over every month. And what that means is you have a set amount of minutes, a pool of minutes, and you can share those minutes with your team. So if you've got a team, they can all have a login and they can all access support. And that's the other part of it. And so the way
how much would that be? How much would that be, James?
So that is starting at £50 a month. So basically it works at £50 a month, and it goes down to £42.50 a month, depending on what level of subscription you take. You can also then, after that time, if you do use all those minutes, you can add minutes on at a discounted rate as well. So you always get your preferred rate if you've made a bit of commitment to subscription. That's probably going to be launched, I would say, August time. So we're just going to do a month with the pay-as-you-go, and then we're going to launch the subscriptions. And to answer that question, when it comes to the end of the 3 months, there's no obligation. So you will just carry on using whatever you want to use, and then it will just become a paid service after that point. And if you don't use it, doesn't matter. There's no commitment. There's nothing to pay. The way the model works with regards to the engineers, so the broader plan, where the business really sits, and this is why we're looking to get the investment into it, because there's a lot to build from a legal point of view, as well as a product point of view, is that in order for this to be an Uber style for IT, we want to make engineers who have got experience and knowledge in various areas of technology to be able to come onto our platform, so that when someone comes on with a problem, the AI has got more to work with in terms of who is the best person to solve this problem, and then pair those people together for a very, very fast fix. Now, at the moment, under the beta testing, we've got our own internal engineers, and I'll say we've got 3 of those, and there's probably going to be another couple of engineers within the next couple of months as well. And that is backed by my co-founder, who was hoping to come here this morning, but unfortunately, he had to go to another appointment. And my co-founder of this business, he actually has an IT MSP. So he works with bigger businesses. So that's it's still in the SME sector, but he works in the SME sector. And so he has his own engineers, and that's why we're able to run this service kind of on the back of his engineers, and make sure that we know and we can keep a very good track of everything that's going on. All the interactions that are happening are going to be recorded as part of the system, and that's going to be, that's going to give us the ability to learn about the sort of questions that come in and the sort of skill sets we need from engineers, and also to see where we are going to need engineers with maybe skill sets outside of what they've got. So it's a bit of a ramble, but I hope that works. Stuart, what have you got for us?
Dan, you had your hand up before me. I was a bit late.
Oh, really? I've got Stuart. Hang on.
Thank you very much, Stuart. It's appreciate that. Just a very, very quick question, James. You mentioned £40 and £50 for minutes. How many minutes do you get for 40 for those tariffs?
So it's 60. So it works on the basic pay-as-you-go model at the moment just works on a pound per minute. So if you buy a 15-minute pay-as-you-go, that gives you 15 minutes of credit, 45 and 60. So if you're just buying on a pay-as-you-go basis, you buy 60 minutes, an hour's worth, that's going to cost you £60. If you go to a 30-day rolling contract, sorry, let me use that word. If you go to a 30-day rolling subscription, that then drops to £50 for every 30 days. So that means every 30 days, you get 60 minutes of credit. Those credits can accumulate, but they can only accumulate to 120 minutes. So every 2 months. So you can end up with up to 120 minutes and then they roll over. Really though, if you don't need the minutes, then if you don't need, up to maybe 2 hours over a 2-month period, then you arguably probably don't need the subscription anyway. And so we'd urge people to, just come and use it as you need, because you might find you only spend, £60 a year on tech support if that's all you need.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Stuart.
I'm not sure if I was before Deborah, but I can't keep on passing it on forever. Hi, James.
Sorry, Deborah, if you were. Yeah, go for it, Stuart. It's only you're at the top of my list, Stuart, where I've got hands up. So Deborah's actually next.
Okay. So if looking at the landscape of circumstances under which a company might come to you, let's take sort of 3 examples. One is my XB, my ABC on my cloud offering isn't working. What's gone wrong? Second one is everything's fine on my cloud offering, but I want something changed. And the other one is company comes to you and says, we need a cloud system put in place. We need a back end. I'm trying not to get too sort of techie with the words. Where do your guys or your company sit within that? And particularly the deeper that goes, we build you a back end. How does that look going forward? Because building a back end is one bit, and then maintaining it and doing all the rest of it, the after sales service, if you like, is a big part of that. And I'd be interested in knowing where you sit in that landscape, from sort of troubleshooting right down to sort of project initiation.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a great question. And this platform's really geared up for the day-to-day tech issues that you might run into, and some light touch around good principles and good practices to have in order to be able to make sure that Your tech is going to be reliable. It's going to run properly. If an issue is troubleshooted, that if we can't fix it, that we know how to confidently point you in the right direction and give you clear guidance on what you need to do next, and also give you a way to come back and revisit that as well. In terms of looking at larger scale projects, this is where we hope in time to have those additional partners coming into the platform and being able to offer their services, so that we can hand off to those as a trusted partner, to be able to go into those deeper areas. Because what you've said is exactly right. There is, and this is why there is very much a good reason why you might want a managed service provider, because you do need someone to have oversight on a 24/7 basis of your systems. This isn't really what this platform's about. This platform is about the smaller businesses who kind of, if their stuff's running and working, they don't think about it. But when there's a problem, that problem needs fixing quickly. And as is all about getting to the root of what technicians might think is a trivial problem, but is not trivial to a business owner who's got to do a presentation in 5 minutes and their laptop's just decided to, throw a complete spanner in the works. So that's that. Does that help answer the question about the differentiation?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it might be useful for people to compare with like construction, IT being newer than construction. We've still got this idea that IT is this really sort of huge, great all or nothing thing. And then you have to turn up with a team of, university PhD graduates or have to do things. And in fact, most of your construction things are you need a plumber, or you need a guy to come in and change a window for you, a glazier, or a luthier, or something like that. I think I like what you're talking about. I like the idea of an IT tradie, if you like. This isn't about huge projects. This is about getting someone to come in and.
It's a great analogy. Yeah. Thanks,
I think there's a big future in that you don't have to do this huge, great, stressful. It's such a big decision hiring a team of a company that's going to do your IT for you. In the same way that it's a big decision to decide who's going to renovate your entire house or do you an extension, but it's a lot less stressful if you know a good plumber or spark you've used before. That you're not employing to make or break your business, but just sort of come in and do what he's doing on that day. So I think it's a really good business model. I mean, even for me, I mean, I'm a technical founder, but I can see absolutely a use case for me where I just need someone to come in and fix a problem because I'm busy fixing other problems. I think it's a great model.
Thank you, Stuart. And well, if you'd like to sign up and try it out over the next couple of months. Alongside anything else you've got, you're more than welcome. And you on LinkedIn, I'm sure you are. If you're not, connect with me.
I've just connected with you. I was surprised to see that we weren't connected from our conversation.
Yeah, no, I was as well, because I know we've spoken
just sent you
before.
a request, so we will be very shortly.
Fantastic, Deborah. Sorry to be so close to the wire, but I'm hosting the meeting now. So if anyone has got a couple of minutes run over, we can have a couple of minutes run over because it's on me now. Ollie's left. So please ask away, and I'll do my best to.
No, and actually, the order works really well because my question's kind of going to build on Stuart's. It's as though we teed it up offline. So one of the questions I was going to have was around change management, because my background is IT transformation change management, where you're very much Apple, mine's Microsoft, because of my corporate background. So I was going to ask about change management, but that sounds like that's probably further down the line if you start doing bigger stuff. So we could have a conversation around that offline, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I still have I still have a number of contacts in the space. So my career started all Microsoft. So when I was 19, I got my first job in IT, in the corporate IT in London. And so I didn't touch a Mac until 2008. I think I got my first got a Mac, and it was not long before the first iPhone come out. And then I got the iPhone, and then I just got, after so many years supporting Microsoft and apps, like tearing what hair I used to have out in my younger days, I just found using Apple products so much easier. And then later on, as as the years went by, and then I went actually to work at Apple as well, I realised that there's a lot more Apple technology in the both in the enterprise, but particularly in the SME space, because founders will go out and buy a Mac much more likely than they would have done 15, 20 years ago. And there's not so much support for there. So that's why, nearly 10 years ago, I set up my Apple specialist business. But I very much have although I've focused on that, I very much have an understanding of both sides of the coin, as it were.
I mean, definitely want to talk to you because, like I said, my corporate day job, when I was in corporate, we were very much wedded to Microsoft. But at home, I am a Mac user. So, yeah, I'm working on a Mac. I've got an iPhone. I've got the iPad. So yeah, so it's great that you've got that dual knowledge. So mine, now that I'm an entrepreneur, my business is running on Mac. But yeah, my background from a tech was that. So I've sent you a LinkedIn. So let me know when you're free to have a catch up, because I've also got someone I want to introduce you to. Their SME, smallish care home, and their IT, they need an IT support all over the place. And as you can imagine, when they speak to different, even providers that say they work with SMEs, they want to charge an astronomical amount when all he wants is someone that's can help him sort out his email for 4 people. He doesn't want
there you go.
Yeah. So if I can connect you with him, that'd be great. Before he signs on this dotted line with someone that wants to charge him 3K. And I was just going to ask SLAs. So have you worked out what your SLAs are going to be?
Our SLAs are, well, it's a bit of a difficult one. It's a conversation. It's something that we haven't really firmly agreed, because the idea is that if you've got an issue, we solve it there and then, because it's aimed really at, I've got an issue, how do I fix it? And we'll keep working on it until we fix it. And it shouldn't really be anything that between 2 people should never take more than a day to fix. In ideally, we just want someone to come on, go through what they need to go through, and the issue's fixed. And when you put an SLA on something, it then puts a metric in place that isn't necessarily conducive to the customer experience. Like, it is very, that there will be an SLA, but like there will be guidance on what we need to get stuff done by, but it's how we frame it. I think we want to frame it a little bit more in the context of, you've got a problem, we're going to get that fixed now. Whereas an IT contract is set up with SLAs in place to make sure that both sides of that agreement have an understanding of what the expectations are. And the other thing with that is that, and I know because I've worked in the industry, IT companies will use their SLAs to organise stuff that's more important for different people, for different customers, and it becomes a little bit like, oh, well, their SLA's not up for another 24 hours, so we'll put that to the bottom of the pile. And it means then you're, as a customer, you're sitting waiting. Whereas the idea here is that if you've got an issue, we'll connect you with someone, and that person will help you until that issue's resolved. And the only thing that's going to stop that getting resolved there and then in the moment is that, you as the customer need to go away and get something and come back. Well, okay, well, we can schedule a follow-up call for an hour tomorrow, whenever. And the idea is that you have an interaction with that agent, and the agent helps you get from one end to the other. And so how we put SLAs around that without limiting, I don't know. So it's not a very direct answer.
Yeah. So obviously, as you're thinking it through, and it's great that you're in beta, but I would love to just kick that around with you a bit more in the back, because I'm thinking from my previous life, the same life as yours, we do need some kind of SLAs when someone's down and they've got a meeting to go to, or they've got a deliverable. They need to know how quickly you're going to get them up and running. But I've been there. How long's a piece of string? I would love to kick some ideas around of how you kind of position that? Because at the moment, all I'm thinking is, oh my God, now I'm a solopreneur and I don't have a whole IT department behind me, and I need to get my laptop working, and someone that's going to say to me, oh, we're working all day. And I'm like, we ain't got all day. We ain't got all day.
Yeah.
So how do you position that? I get it. I get it. Interesting.
I think it's very much because
that with you.
you can't get to that point until you've done some initial troubleshooting anyway.
And that's probably, maybe that's where it needs to be.
And I think that's where it needs to be.
We've done some triage. Indeed.
Some triage, yeah, exactly.
All right.
Connect. Let's
I
connect.
don't want to monopolize, you know what I mean? Monopolize.
No. And also,
I'd love to connect with you on that.
I really, really appreciate anyone that's willing to help us and offer some feedback as well.
Oh yeah,
we're all ears, because we really want to make this work. We really see that there's a need for this in the market, but we haven't got all the answers. So, it'd be great to have you on board. It really would.
Yeah. Let's kick the tires. Right. Let me know when you're free next week. Thanks.
Yeah, drop me a line and we'll pick up. Is there anyone else?
Already done.
We're now 5 minutes over time, but if anyone has got a question, they're welcome. If not, we'll wrap it up. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening and taking part, and I look forward to speaking to you all soon.